for the full 3 hours 20 minutes. It is not. It is not as if that the correct paper was circulated midway through the exam. Suppose sometimes what happens is that the incorrect paper is given. Instead of algebra, you give the English paper. By the time the algebra paper comes, half an hour has gone by. Students were never given the SBI paper at these 8 centers. They were given only the Canara Bank paper.
Judge, this happened. At some places, this was withdrawn and correct paper was also given. There are centers where this happened,
now,
like in Chhattisgarh.
Now, how many centers was the how many centers was the incorrect question paper withdrawn?
NTA. I am appearing for NTA also. I am appearing for
at how many centers was the incorrect question paper withdrawn?
That's all. In some centers, even after realizing that instead of Canara, SBI is given, or
they continue to write.
They continue to write, and 3 hours 20 minutes time allotted was given. So we are not concerned with that. In some cases,
they withdrew that.
They withdrew it halfway and said that now we are giving you another, because
how many centers is that?
That figure is not 1 3.
I'll come to Savai Madhopur. I'll come to all that. But they can respond to.
3 students were such that we, as per our examination, that they were the papers were taken back halfway, and they were asked to complete the new paper within that 320 minutes.
But where they attempt
that
only
not
Canara
happen.
Bank. But halfway is a different story. But halfway is a different story. First is the Canara Bank.
At 8 centers, we found that wrong booklet was distributed. Now, all these 8 centers, the students complete the examination only in the Canara Bank booklet.
Canara Bank only.
8 centers. 8 centers, right?
Yes, we will further bifurcate.
Now, tell us, how many centers apart from these 8 was the wrong booklet withdrawn and the correct booklet?
Yes, we'll give the correct number. That also.
Yeah, just ask.
We'll bifurcate. Yes,
Just sit down there.
in the meantime, I can.
Just one second. We'll also have a little break for 10 minutes. 8 centers. 8 centers, right? Now, tell us, how many centers apart from these 8 was the wrong booklet withdrawn and the correct booklet?
In Jhajjar, where I received the instructions, Jhajjar has 3 centers.
Yes.
In one, the entire Canara paper was attempted and nobody disturbed the students thereafter. In remaining 2, realizing the mistake, the paper was taken back halfway and new paper was given. And therefore they said that we did not get sufficient time, which was true.
Right. Now, why were the grace marks added then?
Initially, my lord, it was decided, which according to me, my lord, was not a very correct decision, that there is some judgment of your lordships in case of a
That's right.
nulls clat, my lord. That if there is a time problem, if time is less, time available to the student is less, then this is the methodology by which you give the grace marks. That grace marks were given. Thereafter, my lord, that decision was,
Was recalled in a retest was it?
yes, that was, those who did not get the time will get a new paper and new 3 hour 20 minutes.
Now, that retest was held for 1563 students.
Yes.
Now, these 1563 students were drawn from which centers? Actually?
My lord, wherever there was a time gap.
Retest is held, that really now, that really doesn't survive.
But there are 2-3 things into it. One, why grace marks to the students who attempted Canara Bank paper? Why grace mark?
So they
On
were-
4th of June, they were granted, on 4th of June, they declared only one key. That is the SBI Bank question paper key. There was no Canara Bank paper key.
Okay,
So
1 second.
how they evaluated those people without declaring a key?
Now this grace mark was given initially to whom?
Let's grace mark was given to the center numbers which we have given the time number also, which is 1.
Was the grace mark given to only those who had to give, who got the SBI paper in the midstream, or what happened?
The grace marks were given only to those persons from whom the paper was initially given, which was withdrawn, and subsequently given the correct paper.
Correct.
What happened?
That is all. In some,
Now, what happened to those students who appeared in the wrong paper, the Can Bank paper?
their marks were given on the basis of the answer key of their sequence paper.
And they were not made to have the retest.
No, let's no.
Because the level of difficulty is up.
Same.
Now, so therefore the grace marks were given only to those whose papers were withdrawn and given the
Yes,
test, because
which-
they couldn't complete the
Which
test,
we counted as 1563.
which we counted as 152.
Based upon reports of city coordinators and CCTV footage.
There were 8 centers across the country where the wrong booklet was distributed.
Yes, let's and
Now those 8 centers includes the 3 judges?
one of them at Jejjal. No, wrong distribution is
Third was 100% Canara Bank.
two at Jejjal. Yes, let's.
Where the wrong booklet was distributed and then recalled.
We called and grace mark was given to those candidates.
Now, these 8 centers across India the same position that the papers were
Paper
withdrawn?
given, time was not sufficient, and therefore grace mark. Out of 4750 centers, this occurred, my lord, in 8 centers. 4,750 are the total number of centers throughout the country.
So 8 it happened that the wrong booklet was
The wrong booklet. My lord, whenever, for example, Judger, out of 3, 1, they completed. They were not,
They have not been given the details, they are being so 1.
they are evaluated based on their answers, my lord.
This is actually incorrect. Let me clarify. 3,300 are the total student where the wrong booklet was given, withdrawn midway.
No.
And
Allowed to continue 3,000. They have 3,000 were allowed to continue. 3,300 wrong paper. They attempted the wrong question paper.
okay.
150. Yes.
Now, the next question comes is, on 4th of June, when they declared the result, on their website, they declared only one key. One key means only
SBI.
They didn't declare any other key. How they evaluated Canara Bank questions which was attempted, and where is the separate result they declared for this 3,000 people who attempted Canara Bank paper?
Key for Canara Bank.
There is no key declared by them, my lord, till today. Let them show it today now. No, my lord. 1, 2.
Now I tell you what, it is all okay. Now show us the data. Let's go down.
Let me complete. Now in this Hardayal school, where originally there were 8 people who came.
At the end of it, assuming that problem happened,
Data is a circumstantial evidence.
they are looking at the entire country now. Show us the data. That's the heart of the matter.
Lord, I will just allow me 2 minutes, Lord, because this.
You said 2 minutes, 11:25. We are not there.
In the meantime, they start. Let me just quickly complete it. I was dealing with Hardayal school. Lord, allow me to just to complete 2-3 sentences, and then I'll straight away come to the data. Hardayal school, 500 students, they attempted Canara Bank paper. Just notice in Lord and let them respond at the end.
All right, we just Hardayal school. Jhajjar.
That's right, Bahadurgarh Jhajjar.
Yes.
Canara Bank paper. No Canara Bank paper key available till date. After re-examination, this all the students were taken in the re-examination. Though there was no delay, admittedly, in distributing question paper.
So all the students at this Hardayal school have been required to do a re-examination.
And in the re-examination, about 50% of them appeared, 50% of them did not appear.
That's also very spooky. Why do 50% not appear?
That's right. Only 813 out of 1,563 in total appeared in the re-examination. That's also data.
Now these 1563 are drawn from how many centers?
Lord, this they have not disclosed. They never disclosed it, how many centers. They will answer it.
8 centers. From and as my learning friend rightly pointed out, they were given an option to retain the earlier marks.
And
They
all
didn't
is,
take a
Lord,
chance. That
and
was-
all is being done behind the curtain. Nothing was declared. Every day they have been giving press release, but with regard to this, there is not a single press release.
Things which, if you can ask, if you can just make a note of these 4 points, Mr. Solicitor and Mr. Kaushik. One, how many centers, at how many centers were the Canara Bank papers distributed? At how many centers totally were Canara Bank question booklets distributed? 2. Out of those centers, in how many centers were the correct question booklets replaced?
Yes.
At how many centers were the correct question booklets replaced, namely of the State Bank of India? Third, how many centers totally where the questions which were evaluated were the Canara Bank paper, the Canara Bank booklets. Whether there were any centers which were evaluated on the basis of the Canara Bank booklet. All right?
Wrong paper was evaluated.
The paper was evaluated. And fourth, once the Canara Bank papers were evaluated, how did the candidates fare then?
This is the key which they have ever declared till date. Canara Bank.
Why have you not declared the key of the Canara Bank papers?
Yes.
Fifth,
Yes.
and finally, I want to know this, that before I formulate a question, suppose you and I go to Canara Bank or to State Bank of India and say, give me the question paper. You will not be given the question paper, right? How does Can Bank know that I am the right person who is authorized to? So there has to be a letter of authorization,
Identity.
right?
Yes.
Now, who issues the letter of authorization?
Yes.
Letter of authorization is issued by the district in charge.
Director General NTA.
Director General of NTA.
NTA to the city superintendent as well as center coordinators.
Now, what does a person take to the bank? Suppose I am the center in charge.
Yes.
Will I have an authorization both for SBI and for Can Bank, or I'll have only one authorization? Just ask that.
Only city coordinator is authorized, not centers.
So the city coordinator is authorized to go to one of the two banks.
Yes.
Now, therefore, that authorization is given to the city coordinator when? When is that given to him?
In advance.
But is the authorization given for both the banks or only one bank?
I think should be for both banks, logical. It is given, authorization is given 3 days prior to the exam
For both the banks.
for both the banks. Then
The city coordinator.
he is informed in the morning that you go to one of these banks and collect.
Five.
Now, if the city coordinator, suppose city coordinator was told in the morning of the 5th that you have to go to SBI, right? Now that city coordinator will have all the centers in that city will be under his control, right? Now, if the city coordinator in this case at Jhajjar go to the Can Bank and get Can Bank papers which were then distributed to all the centers in his jurisdiction, or some centers got SBI and some centers got.
That will have
He collected both.
factually will correct.
He collected both.
He collected both.
He collected both.
How did the city center? How did the city coordinator collect both? I mean, the city coordinator at Jhajjar, he should have gone only to SBI,
Only one bank.
right?
Yes.
Now he went to Can Bank and he went to SBI both. Now all the centers under him, did he distribute the Can Bank question paper?
Let's one center Can Bank paper was distributed, which was allowed to be continued. Two centers, the question paper was distributed Can Bank, but it was withdrawn and SBI was given, that resulting in loss of time.
All Can banks distributed, two of them realized the mistake,
And
withdrew
Who
Can
did
Bank
realize the mistake?
yes,
out of the center coordinator.
No, but the center coordinator will.
Would not normally know. We'll take
center
the
superintendents are different. City coordinator is for all the three centers.
Right. So at Jhajjar there were 3 centers.
Yes, let's.
Right? So he distributed the Can Bank paper to all 3?
All three initially. And let's in from 2, it was withdrawn and correct question paper was
But
distributed.
then why did he not withdraw it from 1?
That we'll have to, let's ask.
If he realized that he has made a mistake, he would have gone to all the 3 centers and said, look, I better give you the correct center. Why did
Time lapse may be the only reason. It was realized at the other center. By that time, maybe the time gap had gone beyond the reasonable time.
take instructions on that?
Assumptions.
Yes, yes. We will take specific instructions. We'll prepare a note on all these 6 questions, and
You're right. Authorization will be given in advance. You can't give authorization in the morning. Then he's informed how? He's informed on his phone.
on what the minutes app, which is created for the purpose of
And
coordination.
who informs him?
NTA.
There is an
The
NTA app.
Director General NTA will inform everyone across the country.
Yes, through the specific app created for this purpose of
That will be informed at 8 o'clock or so in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock.
Yes. There is an
And he
application.
was informed, go to the SBI.
Yes, please.
He went to both.
Yes.
But is Bank not informed that, look, your paper now don't distribute? Director General NTA would be informing the Bank that, look, your paper is not to be distributed. And he would inform SBI that only your paper is to be distributed, right?
Message goes to both the custodian as well as the city coordinator.
Then how did
Where the
Bank
lapse has
distribute? Then
taken-
how did Bank
Yes.
distribute it?
Where the lapse has taken place, we'll find out minutes and
There appears to be a lapse.
Right.
yes, that lapse is there.
Lord, there is another blunder. Hardyal School, in the first instance, despite the Canara Bank paper was given, allowed to be attempted, they gave grace marks to the students who appeared in the Hardyal School. And because of grace marks, 2 of the 8 students who came in the first
So,
topper.
Hardyal School, where the Bank paper was distributed,
Yes.
students were given grace.
They gave grace marks.
Why?
And the evidence of grace marks is, out of the 2 students in the first 8 from the Hardyal School, they got 718 and 719 marks. When we questioned that how come anybody get this marks, they say it is because of grace marks. Otherwise, it's not possible.
So grace marks were given in Hardyal School.
Even for Hardyal School, because on 4th of June, there was only 1 key.
So grace marks were given totally for 1563 students, right?
That's right. For all students, Lord, I believe.
No, not schools.
Thereafter, all these students were put in a re-examination. How, if Canara Bank paper was given and it was to be evaluated, where is the question of first giving them grace marks and then withdrawing the grace marks and putting them to again a retest?
It was a mistake which was corrected and retest. Now
Look,
that's what
how they give a
let's
grace
argue
to
for
Canara
retest
Bank
of the entire country
students?
based
Let
on
them answer
two
that.
incidents.
Why did you give grace marks to the Canara Bank students?
No, it was not given to the
Whenever they were,
One second.
whenever Canara
Who
paper
got
was,
the grace mark? Which body of students got the grace marks?
wherever Canara Bank's paper, the wrong paper, I'll use it, wrong paper, was initially given, taken back, and a new paper was given,
Grace marks.
resulting into the time not being available, grace marks were given.
So, do we understand you right? That grace marks were not given to those students who had appeared for the Canara Bank booklet, but who had completed the entire booklet.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
They were not given.
No, not yet.
So grace marks were given to only those students to whom a wrong booklet was given and it was withdrawn. Is
Yes.
that right? Is that
Page
clarity?
19.
Mid-
Yes,
yes.
Lord, I will falsify the stand just now. Their response to my note at page 19, they have reproduced a table where grace marks have been given. In that table, the center 230701 Haryana Jajjar Hardyal School, they say their grace marks have been given. Please check it. This is what they have filed before this honorable court.
And 287.
Well,
Also.
And 287.
Hardyal school is a situation where the students attempted only the Can Bank paper.
Correct. And they,
But did any student at Hardyal school get grace marks?
they got a grace marks. Lord. So this is how they have conducted.
One second. Mr. Kaushik,
yes, please.
did students at Hardyal school also get grace marks?
This is what it is.
I'll take specific clarification.
Just find out.
It's a systemic failure.
We work कैसे किया उसको?
Given only for Hardayal school, not the other two schools. Let them not
For the reason, I'll clarify.
only in Hardayal school grace marks.
Grace marks were given where?
Grace marks were given only to Hardayal school.
Yes.
Just it's not, they are trying to misrepresent facts without knowing the clear picture.
That's why we are absolutely with an open mind. We wanted to disclose. I mean,
Yes,
that's
which I am instructed to say suffered loss of time despite the fact that they attempted Canara Bank question paper.
why don't you do this in the afternoon? Just give us on a piece of paper the correct position and
Yes.
give them a copy so we understand
Correct.
where we stand.
I'll
So we are
prepare
not
a
just
note.
taking down
Let-
something they are saying, something they are
Yes,
saying.
Let
we don't
them,
want to- we
let
don't
them
want-
correctly
So I'll-
understand it.
Just 1 second. Just let him say, let him say,
Yes,
clarify.
a neat
But you
note.
put it down on one sheet of paper by the
Yeah,
afternoon, so
yes.
we'll then take it as a statement.
Correct.
Because then I don't want later on,
No.
applications that you
Yes,
recorded
ma'am.
wrongly.
There may be in the haste, there may be some confusion because they are jumping on.
So Hardayal school grace marks were given.
Yes, the
Grace
other
marks were given only in Hardayal school? or-
only in Hardayal because I am told the reason is that in the other schools, grace period, that is time of loss, was compensated by the center itself. Extra time was given to them, as a result whereof they did not suffer any loss of time.
No, but tell us something. In
Individual
Hardayal
situations-
school, the paper was replaced with the correct paper later on?
I am told that both the papers happened to be given. After the confusion, the SBI paper was withdrawn and Canara Bank paper was allowed to be continued.
That's a fact.
In Hardayal school?
Yes, that is
So
what
that means in Hardayal school, all students wrote the Can Bank paper.
all
Be
Can Bank.
firm, put
Yes.
it on a piece of paper
Yes,
so that
we
there is a
On a
responsibility.
piece of paper.
Not just to,
Yes.
just to,
And
Malad,
all students wrote the Can Bank paper at Hardayal school. Why were they given grace marks?
What we will do is, we will prepare the city-wise where this happened and center-wise. Why the different
Give
treatment?
it to us in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
we
We
will
will
do.
understand.
Yes, we will.
only one thing, Malad, just to put
Were papers replaced and under whose orders were the papers continued?
Yes.
Was NTA monitoring this from Delhi or what happened?
It is monitored from Delhi and communication did
So
not.
did Delhi get to know in the morning that, look, the wrong paper has been disputed at these
What
ends?
time it came to the knowledge and what time the communication,
Tell us.
because large number of centers.
Okay, tell us in the
8,
afternoon.
not large number.
Now, Mr. Huda, you have to wrap up. fast.
But in fact, I'm not allowed to proceed by the other side.
Lord, only one thing,
I
Manoj,
was
just
on
to put
Hardayal
things
school.
in
There are
perspective.
20 questions on Hardayal school itself.
Manoj,
They have
only-
made 4 statements
a
with
minute,
regard.
only a
Let
minute.
me show. Manoj,
Only
just
a minute.
moment.
Lord, my learned friend is arguing that the entire country's examination is vitiated and therefore there should be a retest. My Lord, giving examples of some mistakes
No,
here or
that's a
there out
systemic failure, my
of
lord.
4,570 may not, my Lord, serve his purpose of assisting the court.
I'm saying there is a systemic failure, and I'm sequentially demonstrate that how the system
come
was
out
so
of Jajjar
brittle
yet. You
and
come up with
fragile,
Jajjar,
and
then
which
Haryana,
was
then go to
tweaked
India.
at the whims and fancies of these invigilators and city center operators who are private individuals, got nothing to do with the government. With regard to Jajjar, I'm just closing Jajjar. I want to say, in the first response, they said Hardayal school Canara paper was given. They attempted Canara paper. They evaluated Canara paper. No grace marks were given. This is their stand just now. They have changed it right now. With regard to the other two centers, they say there was a loss of time and that is why grace marks were given. Just now they said it. Now they have again said it with regard to those two centers. No grace marks were given. Extra time was given then and there. Who took the decision? My lords have rightly asked the question. Now, with regard to Hardayal school, just two fact I want to bring to my lord's notice. A student who got 719 marks in Hardayal school with grace marks, they were given re-examination along with this 1563. The same student had, earlier the rank was 68 with 719 marks out of 720. Now the rank is 58,413. With regard to the student who got 718 in the same Hardyal school, where the rank was 69, after re-examination, the rank is 38,497. Now they do not know whether Canara Bank was given or initially SBI was given. On 4th of June, they declare one result, that is SBI result. There is no separate key. They did not even disclose on 4th of June that there was loss of time. And that loss of time we have compensated with grace marks. This they had to come out with only when they were confronted with 719 marks and 718 marks, because this is not numerically possible with the number of marks and negative marking. Then they said, now in the entire country, what they do is, this NTA has collected about 400 crore rupees from the students. Thereafter, I give example of Sikar now, which is data-wise very important. Sikar has 49 centers in all. Out of 49 center, only one center is this Kendriya Vidyalaya. Rest 48 centers are all private schools, self-financed private schools. All their city coordinator, invigilators, superintendent are all private individuals whom NTA issue checks of 2,000 rupees a day or 2,500 or 1,500 rupees. Now, because this honorable court is kind enough to allow me to argue this case, because so many people have come to assist me. They've shown me photographs of the school, private school in a village where this exam is being conducted. It doesn't even have a boundary wall. Now, I have not gone through their entire process. I will not call it as a SOP.
I only take.
Now, that indicates that at 5:20, the paper is collected by the invigilator. And the OMR sheet is taken. OMR sheet is taken. Now, what is the time when this OMR sheet is to be sealed? It's nowhere prescribed. It remains in the center. We have spoken even to the center vigilators. 2-3 hours, it keep lying in every center with the center superintendent. And then they have to deposit it somewhere where all the OMR sheets are collected. Like for Sikar, there is one place where OMR sheets are ultimately collected in one center. There is no procedure NTA prescribed that 5:20 this OMR sheet is collected. Then 5:30 it should be sealed in the presence of the students. Because they have trained these invigilators across the country.
Then what time do they get deposited with the centralized deposit?
There is no time given, Let them file a specific affidavit if they are ever in black and white.
How soon after the examination concludes at 5:30?
It is
the sealing process taking place?
They say that it is 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Ultimately, it gets deposited with the city center.
But before
what
that,
time
when
is
does
the
sealing takes place?
This I could not find in their entire SOP. I have placed it before this honorable.
That's the point.
So, I would say, I will show the data.
Now, Mr. Huda, please go to the data.
I'm coming to the data,
Please come to it.
Yes. Now, after analyzing the data, what we find, there are certain centers which are doing exceedingly well. It's not the students, that the centers are doing exceedingly well. Like Kota and Sikar, both have almost equal number of students appearing. Mismatch also.
Yes.
The data I wanted to show after giving this background, that after 5:20, there is a lot of time and leeway.
Got your point. You did not
and because Kota and Sikar had equal number of students appearing, if we calculate first top centers in the country, getting students having more than 650, rank. I'm sorry, marks. Then 38 center out of 49 center are only from Sikar.
Student getting over 650 marks.
That's right.
38.
38 out of 50.
What is 50?
50 top centers in the entire country.
Where's more than 650 marks?
That's right. If 650 is taken as a cutoff and we evaluate that what are the top 50 center in the country.
Where even one student gets more than 650.
That's right. So all students put together getting more than 650 are from Sikar out of
38
50.
out of 50
Correct.
are from
Sikar. Sikar alone. 38 centers. And 6 centers adjoining to Rajasthan, which falls in Haryana. That's a Mahendragarh, Bhiwani. Rewari, Mahendragarh, Bhiwani. And now, may kindly see this. There are two factors.
what I've taken down is that Kota and Sikar centers had broadly equal number of students appearing. Students getting more than 650 marks.
Yes, let me straight away show those charts.
38 out of 50 are from Sikar alone, 6 in Mahendragarh, Rewari and Bhiwani.
Correct, Lord.
Now show us the chart.
Yes, Lord. Lord, may kindly permit me to refer to my second supplementary note.
Which you have just given today, no?
Yes, Lord, which was filed, Lord.
Page?
Lord, first annexure, page 13 is their SOP, which I said that there is no time given for sealing after OMR is collected. Then, Lord, the data of top 50 centers, Lord, that is page 101, annexure C. But before that, Lord, allow me to show one more chart at page 100 for a moment, Lord. This again, they have to answer it, Lord, if they can answer it post lunch. The difference in the data declared on 4th of June and 20th of July, page 100, Lord, may kindly see this table. Lord, just see Bihar.
Just one second.
Page 100, Lord. That's right. Mismatch in the result published on 4th of June 2014 and 20th of July 2024. 4th of June 24 and 20th of July 24.
Yes.
Lord, just see Bihar at serial number 4. As per 4th of June, registered were 1,54,000, appeared 1,49,000 something, qualified 74,743. Now the data on 20th of July. Appeared student 1,36,000. The difference is 13,000.
Right.
And Lord, this difference is appearing almost everywhere. And we will respond to that after they respond to it.
4th of June and 20th July, the number of students comes down.
Correct.
Appeared students.
That's right. Lord, Rajasthan, Lord, may kindly see specifically Rajasthan also for this.
There is something plus also like Tamil Nadu. There.
Yes.
Rajasthan is plus 18,000.
Yes. Now, my Lord, what happens? My Lord, let me explain it. Let me, my Lord, explain it for a moment. What happens is, in their system, if I am a resident of Rohtak, Haryana, if I fill up an address of Tamil Nadu, I want to go to Sikar. I can simply fill up my address, some address of Sikar, and they will treat me as a student of Sikar. And I will get a center somewhere in Sikar. People have gone from Godhra, Gujarat to Karnataka, Belgaum, One incident is a girl who got 705 marks on 4th of June. She got failed in 12th class and she's getting 31 out of 100 chemistry and so on and so forth. People have traveled from Odisha, Karnataka to Godhra. And Lord, with regard to this, one professor wrote an email which I have placed on record a month before that this is a scam happening.
How many students had, would we know what their original place is? And
Lord, what happens is they do not connect it with Aadhaar card or any proof of residence. They open their system. They say you fill up the address of your residence, whatever you feel like, and we will treat it to be your residence address, and we will allocate you center as per the address you gave it here. Absolutely no system in place to verify that.
So, are you contending? Suppose I'm a student. I'm ordinarily residing in Delhi. When I fill up my form online, I can choose a center, say in Sikar, or I can fill out a center in somewhere in Tamil Nadu or Kerala. Any?
Lord, I am free to give whatever address I want.
Showing us by showing some residence over there.
Not even showing, filling it up. Just I need to type it.
At what point of time do they verify whether you are actually a resident of that?
At no stage, my Lord, may kindly note it.
A student can choose a center in any part of the country.
Any part of the country.
And you don't have to submit any document?
Absolutely no proof, my Lord. And there is an email, if I can straight away invite some Lord kind attention to that email for a moment. Professor email.
It's not a change of center, but choice of center.
Choice of center. Page 190. Page 190 of my Lord, this my Lord may kindly permit me to.
Writing an email that there is a scam.
No.
Mr. Solicitor, just tell us this later on when you're done.
Yes.
Argument is that a student can choose a center of their liking anywhere in the country by saying, I reside there.
Yes, sir.
Does the student at any point of time of the registration process have to produce any documentary material to indicate that they are residents of that place?
I'll answer that. But when I give the figures of Sikar, he's taking on Sikar, I'll be able to justify the success rate has gone down, but we'll be able to show that. Let me come to my place.
How does it work when a center is sought by a student? Student applies for a center or city when you submit an application for it? City. Now, when a student applies for a city, does NTA require the student to upload any document?
Just inquire and Malod.
Absolutely.
Or does that student just choose a city anywhere in the country?
Correct.
Let them verify.
Correct. Lord, I just want to point out an email, like Lord would remember, Kaka College had written them with regard to Godhra a month earlier. In there, they did not act on it. In their reply, they say now they have marked this college Kaka email to some competent authority to look into it. Now, with regard to this, allow me, Lord, to refer to this email at page 190.
Was the data? You passed that already before yesterday.
Yes, my Lord, I'm coming back. My Lord, I'm already on the tables, my Lord. My Lord, I'm already on the tables. My Lord, may kindly see. Yes. My Lord, I was page 100. My Lord, I'm showing this data. I was at page 100 to demonstrate.
Ultimately, up to now, we have dealt with Hazaribagh, we have dealt with Patna, we have dealt with
this all will demonstrate.
No, my Lord, give me some time. My friend has taken a long, I have no quarrel. I have to attend some other matter. I'll be grateful. I will only take 10 minutes. That I am 10 minutes. My Lord, if you go by Tushar Mehta, you're only 59. Junior to me in bar and age. Yes. Please don't insult seniors. But my Lord, I only take 10 minutes.
Any group matter, one person leads.
No, my Lord, I only take 10 minutes, my Lord.
We are also.
No, because I believe that he is.
Second, Mr. Nedumbara, it would be wrong to say that he has taken time. We are also.
No, I am not blaming anybody, my Lord. I am only requesting 10 minutes to be given to me. Then, my Lord, relieve me. That's all. 10 minutes to me. 10 minutes to me, my Lord. If I can, before lunch, my Lord, I have another matter to be. I am taking adjournment after adjournment in Madras High Court. I want to appear online.
All right.
So 10 minutes.
I was page 100, the table, just to demonstrate the mismatch, and this is for them to explain that how the number of candidates who appeared in a particular state has gone down from the result declared on 4th of June to the result declared on 20th of July. Then, my lord, at page 101, annexure C is the list of top 50 centers, which indicates, my lord, that how these centers are concentrated in Sikar.
Of heart. This is very important. Just one second.
Yes.
Let's go closely on this. Yes.
Lord, I have given the center code, number of students appeared, how many students above 700, then the percentage of 700 plus, above 650, percentage of above 650, above 600, percentage of above 600, and then above 550. I have gone only up to above 550. Now, this will show a concentration.
Where?
The concentration here is, my lord, primarily Sikar. My lord, may kindly see this. Rajkot, there is one station at Rajkot, my lord, where the total number of students is 1968. Center code, where 12 students above 700. Hmm? 115 above 615. There is something special with Rajkot, this center code. That's fine. That will at Sikar, after Rajkot, 1,000 students, 8 are above 700.
9 are above.
And then, my lord, I'm on next item, Sikar, Rajasthan. Out of 1,001 student appearing, 8 above 700, then 69 above 650, and 115 above 600. And then 241 above 550. And Lord, also kindly keep it in mind, city coordinators are the owners of these schools, and these are private schools. And the invigilators are the employees of these private schools. And the possibility cannot be ruled out that these teachers are not in league with the coaching centers, my lord, which are operating in Kota and Sikar.
Are what? Are the city coordinators? City coordinators are government employees or they're private employees?
They are principals of the particular school, which
Private
is
schools.
Sorry?
Principal of the school where the center is located.
Private school.
City coordinators.
City coordinator.
Yes, ma'am.
So it would be a
city
coordinator.
It's completely privatized.
Principal of CBSE school is the city coordinator.
No, there is in Sikar there is no CBSE school. There is only one. This Kendriya Mahavidyalaya. 48 are the private schools, and CBSE affiliated, not CBSE run.
They are all CBSE schools.
CBSE affiliated school.
But they are CBSE affiliated schools, not CBSE run schools.
Top 50, you are saying that there is a concentration of Sikar.
Correct, Lord. Kindly see this table, my lord. It shows all Sikar. 38 of them, my lord. Not a coincidence, my lord. And I'm sure, my lord, consistently, even the last year also, these, my lord, even last year also and last to last year also, this Sikar must be doing well for the reason. Because all these private schools, my lord, they are together, CBSE affiliated or Rajasthan board affiliated. Now, one of them is a city coordinator. Rest are the invigilator. And my lord,
But tell us, Mr. Huda, assuming that that is so, I mean, can that be a ground to cancel the entirety of the exam all over the country? Or two, to cancel that exam for Sikar as a
no, my
whole?
lord, what I say, I bow down.
There be sure a retest for
My lord,
Sikar.
what I humbly submit
There's
is,
sufficient data in itself.
If
Lord,
all
what-
over the country,
Lord, what
there
I
are
humbly-
6 people per 1,000 who get above 600 all over the country. That's the average. And in each place in Sikar, you get 75, you get 80. That's the
So just let's see this, what you
The
have
country
completed
average.
over here.
Please,
It's
the
so-
reference value is the country average.
वो डाउनलोड करके पहले उसको भी मैग्नीफाई मेरे को दिखने में
Not-
नहीं दिखता।
my lord, what I humbly submit is,
A paper copy of that page.
Words only.
yes, my lord, it's there. My lord.
Less than 10.
15 दे दिया. Give 3. This is my lord 100, 500 and above. This is not with regard to. हाँ.
Correct नहीं.
Sikar are
Centers, my lord. Though they are private people,